Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Enigmatica to Expert. So today we're going to be picking back up where we left off. In the last episode we were working on the pink slime and getting that, and then working towards getting our reactor set up. I'm not going to go back there yet, I'll take you guys back there in a little bit. But working on setting up our reactor's redstone and stuff. So anyways, let's go ahead and get back into it. Okay, this has ran for a bit. We have 1,480 pink slime in here. So let's go ahead and grab that. And grab that. And all this stuff. We don't really need this anymore, I don't think. Unless we just happen to need liquid meat or liquid pink slime or something like that again. We shouldn't need it anymore. If that comes up, then we'll deal with that later. But right now I just need some pink slime. It's really what I need. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this. Let me go ahead and dump this. I'm going to hold on to the factory and stuff for right now in case I need to set them back up or something. If I don't get what I'm after pretty quick or something. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to sit down our tank of pink slime. Let's grab a bucket. Let's grab a bucket of that and just put it in world. And we are just going to wait a second. It's going to take... it's honestly, it's kind of random. Sometimes it's pretty quick. Sometimes it's not so quick. So, if you do multiple source blocks of pink slime, you can get larger ones and stuff, but generally I think one's going to be fine. I might need more, because what I need is 4 pink slime balls, at least. Okay, there's a pink slime. And let's kill it. We're going to get, okay, we got 1 pink slime. Okay, I'm going to have to repeat that. I need 4 of these to start with. And then maybe a little bit extra. So I'm going to grind up. Okay, we completed the quest for the mob slaughter factory. This quest right here. Let's go ahead and take our loot chest for that. Then they want us to make a range add-on. We're going to get that here in just a minute. Let's see what we got. 8 tacos. Okay. That's fine. Well, anyways, I'll be back once I get some more liquid pink slime. Okay, so I ran quite a few more Endermen through the Mob Slaughter Factory. I actually got 27,000 liquid meat. And I was about to get my 4th pink slime and I actually got 3. All the rest of them are 1 drops. So I do have 6, which is actually pretty good. And then I get a pink slime and a soul vial for later use. So I'm just going to put that away with the rest of these soul vials. Which we'll put those to use later on. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and craft ourselves a RF Tools machine frame. We are going to need some heat vents. Let me go ahead and automate those. And I also want to go ahead and automate iron bars, because I don't have those automated. I think I've got the rest of this automated. Okay, and then the range add-on, we're just going to go with the bottom tier. I think should be fine. Range add-on 0. Yeah, that works. Okay. So let's go ahead. I'm going to need a little bit of plastic. So we'll go ahead and get some dry rubber, and then this requires rubber. Okay. Which later on we are going to automate plastic. I'm not too worried about it right this second. There's that. And then the machine frame. We are going to need that. We're going to need 2 heat vents. So I'm going to go ahead and order those. There we go. And there is our machine frames from RF Tools. And we got an advancement RF Tools and quest complete upgrades. Okay, our upgrades quest is done for industrial foregoing. We'll go ahead and take a loot chest from that. And then the RF Tools quest, we'll go ahead and detect submit that. We get a smart wrench, RF Tools manual, and RF Tools control manual. Let me just dump this stuff into there. And then we also have a quest complete for the gates. For getting an RF Tools machine frame, we get to choose between a power cell, a basic energy cell, or an advanced energy cube. We're going to take the power cell. And let's see, let's go ahead and craft a power cell card, which I'm going to have to automate these, but I want to get the quest complete. We're going to get more into these here in just a little bit. We'll go ahead, there we go, quest complete. Grab our loot box. And then I think, let's see, the dimlet parcel. We've gotten that. So we'll go ahead and get a loot chest from that. And then also the modular storage we've completed. And we'll take our loot chest from that. There we go. And, okay, just dropped on the ground. That's fine. Let me go ahead and dump some of this stuff. And let's see what we got. First up, we got 2 Infusion Crystals with 25 uses. That's awesome, because we're actually going to be getting into Mystical Agriculture here soon. Which that also means that we just completed a gate for Mystical Agriculture. So we get to choose between 4 Blocks of Prosperity, 4 Inferium Tier 2 Seeds, or another Infusion Crystal. Now we don't need that because we can actually use the Diamond Anvil. Okay, we just complete one of them. Okay. I was about to say, we don't have a Master Infusion one. Let's go ahead and take I know we can craft Blocks of Prosperity like this, but it takes Rock Crystal for 2. The Inferium Seeds actually aren't that bad. Yeah, just seeds with, and then you upgrade them, which can be done like that. I'm going to take I'll tell you what, we're going to take the 4 Inferium Seeds. They're Tier 2s. We'll go ahead and take those. That'll be fine. Okay, and then next chest, we got a Diamond Shield. And then next up, we got another Phosic Resonator, and then a Horn of the Wild. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Now let's pop down to the IC2 area, and I want to scan the machine frames from RF Tools, because these can be scanned and replicated. So I want to do that, and I'm going to cut for a little bit. I'm going to let this scan. I'm going to start replicating some. Whenever I bring you guys back, I'll show you how much it actually takes as far as UU matter goes. And I also want to automate power cell cards, and I want to automate power cells. Prismarine, Diamond, Emerald, and a bit of Redstone for those. Okay, it's 26 millibuckets per machine frame to replicate those, which is pretty cheap. And then I also discovered that you can replicate steel. It's less than a bucket, because I was getting low on steel, so I was like, well, I'm curious if I can replicate it. I can. So we might actually set it up to make steel via UU matter as well. So we have like a certain amount that's kept on hand with UU matter, and then we can also make it through our blast furnaces. So that way, if we do start using a lot of it or something, you know, we have 2 different methods that are coming in. UU is quicker, we may not stock it as much, and then blast furnace to let it build up even more. Of course, before long, we'll get magical crops, steel, you know, steel seeds and stuff like that. We're going to be getting into magical crops before too long. So, anyways, we've got 65 machine frames in here. Let's go ahead, and there's a couple things that I want to make. First up, power cells. I did automate making the advanced power cell, which if we take a look, well, actually, we'll just look in here. I made some recipes for like blocks of redstone, the power cell recipe, dimensional shards, which is just crafted like this. This is like standard recipe. Pretty cheap, and then that makes 8 of them, and then you put that around diamond, you get infused diamond, and then that power cell, you get advanced power cells. These are just better, and they're not that expensive to make. It does add up on redstone pretty quick, but I think for right now, we've got 1,000 of it. I'm going to have to go mining for more redstone, but that's not a problem, really. Okay, so what I want to make is we've got a power cell card. Let's go ahead and get like 3 more of these, just to start with. And then let's get ourselves 4 of the advanced power cells. I'm missing Prismarine. Of course I am. You can actually make it. In the hydrator, you can make it very, very cheaply. Nether quartz. We can make Prismarine. And then those Prismarine blocks, we can split them for Prismarine. But only through that, it looks like. Which is actually super cheap. Wow, device frames are super cheap. Okay, I'm going to need a copper gear and a couple iron gears. Because I've got 1,217 Prismarine blocks. So that'll do us good for a while. I mean, I can make it with nether quartz, but I use my nether quartz for... I use the nether quartz for so much other stuff that I really don't want to use that right there. So... Okay, so there's our factorizer. Easy as pie. Let's go ahead and get some of those. And these don't even take power either. We'll just... this room's becoming a mess. We're going to take care of this here soon. We're about to have RF power. It's going to make our lives a whole lot easier, I promise. Okay, so there's some Prismarine shards. Let's toss that back into there. And let's get our 4 advanced power cells. There we go. And of course power's gonna flick. That's why I'm not like automating a bunch of things. Everything's kind of like temporary setups because we need to get power taken care of. Of course I could have done some water wheels or windmills, but it's taken us so long to get to RF power, we might as well do it right. Do something really, really nice with it. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so our power cell, what we're going to do is this first one we're going to set down. Actually this should be able to feed power straight into the power cell from there. So we're just going to put our power cell setting right there. Okay, and we're going to say input, and we're going to put in a power cell card. Okay, we've got link ID 45 is ours. And then what we're going to do is just take these other 3, and there we go, link ID 45. And we're going to say input, and okay, it's not automatically outputting the power. Yeah, because there's power in there. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead, we'll pull that up, and we'll set it down right here. Okay, that's kept its card and everything. Everything's input. Okay, so I'm going to need to make an energy cable of some sort. I don't know. I mean, long term I would like to go with cryo-stabilized flux ducts, but I think those are probably a little bit beyond our means, because we're going to need a fluid transposer to make that. Now, we could probably... Yeah, we're not going to be able to do flux ducts right now. They're just not strong enough to pull out the power that we need. Are we going to have to go with like a single energy interconduit? Okay, I see what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to make ourselves... Let's see. Let's get glowstone. Let's get redstone. And let's go ahead and make like 12 of it for now. And then let's get ourselves some gold. And we're going to dump this stuff in the alloy furnace. And it's going to start making energetic alloy. And then, let's see, to make the... Can I just use ender pearls, or do I have to use ender dust? 6 of those. That and that. Okay, that'll make vibrant alloy. Oh, it's having issues though. Of course it is. Okay, do I have like a Spectra Coil? Yeah, I do. Great. We'll just put that right there. Oh, it's still not enough power. Oh my gosh. Well, we'll leave that on there. Let me, actually I've got a, let's see, what did I do with the RTG that was with that? Oh, I'll put it right back over here. Let me steal this. We've got plenty of rubber at the moment. There we go. Make me vibrant alloys. Okay. There's 3 vibrant alloy. And then let's get our conduit binder. That. Ender energy conduit. Okay. Now, let's take this and let's attach it to the power cell. And go. Can't rotate it with that. Let's try that. And I put it right back here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so your thing has to face out. My bad. I was thinking it had to face in. Been a while since I've used Nuclearcraft, so that's my excuse. Alright, so it's getting power, and we've got over 1 million, or over 10 million, I'm sorry. 14 million, 15 million, and so on. Power being stored up in this power cell. And it has drained out everything. Great. Okay, so then what we're going to do is, since we've got that power out, this is the redstone that's coming out from our heat being generated. And right over here, we're actually going to set up just a really quick, easy AND gate. So we're just going to bring this out to like right here. We are going to set up... Let me grab a little bit of cobble. So we're actually not going to need the Ender energy conduits, in fact. So we didn't actually have to do that, but that's fine. We're going to have the redstone come out right here. We are going to put a redstone torch. This is just a standard, just vanilla Minecraft AND gate. This is like basic vanilla redstone level 1 stuff, you know. So the redstone comes out, it shuts off that redstone torch. We're going to put a piece of redstone there and another redstone torch on this side. And then, let me move that, set that up. we're going to set up one of these power cells setting... Oh, let's see. We'll have it setting right here. We'll be fine. And we're not going to do in or out on this. We're going to put a card into there. We're going to take one of our Link ID 45 cards and put them right in there. So you can see we have 15 million, so on, RF. So it's linked up to this, and you can see instead of just having 40 million RF storage, we now have 80 million RF storage, because these do add together. They all work together to create one big energy storage. You don't have to have a big capacitor bank. You can just have your power cells all over. I am still going to do a big power cell bank. Just have them all placed down, you know. But you don't actually have to, you know, set up a big bank and transfer the power out. And this is all wireless. It does use a little bit of power whenever it pulls power out, you know, depending on the distance and stuff like that, but that's not really a big deal. Now this is... With the advanced power cell, it can transfer. That's one reason I wanted this. It can transfer up to 100,000 RF per tick in and out. Of course, that is per connection, so if you needed to do more of these, you could do more reactor ports along the side and just do more power cells if you want to pull out more power. But it works out perfectly for ours, because we're using a little bit below the 100,000 RF per tick limit. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go craft up an RF monitor. And this is basically RF Tools' version of the power monitor. It's not quite as good. You can actually double them up for kind of the same effect. I'm just going to use one, I think. That'll be fine. But they're pretty cheap to craft. And since I was going to go for... the machine frames to get the power cells anyway, we'll just do an RF monitor. We may eventually change this to a power monitor just for a little bit more control and whatnot, but we're going to put this down right here, just facing off in this direction, and we can set this, we can select the advanced power cell. That's the block that we want to monitor, and we're going to say that it's going to emit a redstone signal. Let's see, that one's shut off. We're going to emit a redstone signal out of the front of this. It emits a redstone signal out the front whenever the power is, let's say when it's less than 60%. Okay, so if it's less than 60%, emit a redstone signal. Alright, and then what we're going to do is, which it should be, okay, it emits power out the back, my bad. Okay, so we're going to rotate like that. So it's going to emit when it's less than 60%. If we hit this to more, you'll notice the redstone signal goes off. So it is working. So less than 60%, it's going to emit a redstone signal. That means it's going to shut off this redstone torch. And then we're going to put one more redstone torch down right here. Okay. And basically this is an AND gate. So if this is true and this is true, then it's going to emit a redstone signal. Okay. So for example, if I set this instead to more, this redstone signal goes off. Turns the redstone torch on, which turns the output signal off. Okay, so basically it's going to check and make sure, do we have less than 60% power in the power cell network? Do we have less than, 4 out of 15 heat in the fission controller? If so, then it's going to emit a redstone signal out the front. Okay, now if I set this to, say, less than 11%, there we go. It's not less than 11%, so the redstone signal goes off. Okay, but we're going to leave it on, emit when less than 60%. That's when we want this to run. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pop over here, and we are going to get... I got to remember the name of it. It's not that. It's from... it's been a while since I used this thing. I want the basic redstone interface right here from Random Things. We're going to need to make a stable ender pearl. And let's grab this. And let's grab the advanced... No, not the advanced redstone torch. It is the redstone tool. Okay. This right here. And we're going to take our basic redstone interface, and we're going to go over here, and we're going to set it up. Like... right here. And then we're going to shift right click this, shift right click our fission controller, and you can see it turns on. Okay, and it's producing some heat. That's fine. We should see the redstone power go up. There we go. Redstone power of 1. Redstone power of... There we go. You can see it has shut off the fission controller because the heat got too high, and now it just kicked back on. Okay, so it's basically just going to control the redstone. It's not going to ever let it get too hot. It's not going to let the power get too full or anything like that. It's just going to toggle that reactor on and off. And it's honestly, it's not going to run very often as soon as it hits that 60% power, which is going to be around, around almost 5 million is when that redstone signal should go off. So you can see the heat's not getting very high at all on this. And we should be just about to where we need to get to. There we go. You can see the redstone here has gone off and it has shut off the reactor. So there we go. Comparator coming out of the fission controller, run it through, invert the redstone signal, and have it come out to here into an Nand Gate, and then RF monitor reading our power cell network into the Nand Gate. Output goes into a basic redstone interface. Very, very simple redstone system, but it does work extremely well. Extremely well. And so that's pretty much the redstone for this. And I mean, this reactor is pretty much done at this point. I mean, that's really it. That is really it. So all the expensive stuff is done. Honestly, the worst part was making all the coolers and the machine frames for RF tools, getting those started. But now it's all, RF tools is pretty much opened unto us at this point. And then if I wanted to, I can come out here, I can take our advanced power cell, and I can set this guy up like, where do I want to put this thing? Oh, AE2 system, right? I hate this thing. And we can just pull all this stuff up. Pull that up. Put down a power cell. Put down a card. There we go. It's got the power, and it's going to feed power into our AE2 system. And honestly, now we won't have to worry about power at all. Or we shouldn't. Oh, I need to set this to output. My bad. And you can see whenever I plug this up, the power went up. It kicked on that reactor and it ran for a little bit longer because every additional power cell that I add increases the power storage. So it takes it, you know, it takes more power to hit that 60% buffer. So every time I toss down a power cell, it is going to run the reactor for a second, and then it's going to stop again. But I imagine, look at that. We haven't even used one fuel out of this. We haven't even consumed an entire fuel yet. And we have a whopping 73 million RF in here. Haven't even used a single fuel cell. It's crazy good. It is crazy good. Because this, just bear in mind that this is all just running off of that. That's all it's really using is some uranium-238. It was expensive to set up, but now it's free power. Super free, easy power. And it's going to produce, probably, from the looks of it, it's going to produce about 100 million RF per fuel cell, roughly. Which is, I mean, that's very, very efficient. Especially when you take into account what actually goes into making this, which is a whole lot of nothing, in truth. So if I wanted to, I could toss down, you know, another power cell, and it's going to bump it up 40 million every single time I toss down an advanced power cell. And it really doesn't take a whole lot of effort for this to upkeep it, what we're using. So, okay, it's been a bit since I last cut, and we have updated the server to 1.41, because it does seem to be pretty safe. And I have been scanning some things. You can see this is done. Let me save that. I have scanned the heavy engineering block. It's 25 millibuckets for each heavy engineering block. I've also scanned steel casings, 17.5 millibuckets apiece. And then steel, you know, I mentioned that last episode. It's really cheap to make. If we pop up to here, I have added a few more replication systems. Just these two. One making the machine frames from RF tools. One is making steel. And I'm keeping steel stocked, and we're keeping a full drawer of it. So 64 stacks. 4,096 steel. I figured this would be, because it's so cheap, and I'm pumping out UU matter like nobody's business at the moment. Now we have 63 buckets in there, and I'm getting, I don't know, it's a lot every day. If we pop down here and you take a look, I mean, it's kicking out UU matter right now pretty quickly. That's all thanks to this. This little system that I'm working on expanding. If we pop back here, this is all the same system of radioisotopes. So, because we're pumping this stuff out, I'm actually probably going to end up setting up a replicator that keeps like a stack of RTGs on hand, because we are pumping that stuff out pretty quick. And then if we pop over to right back here, I set up a new teleport to the power system. This actually takes us, this is where the entrance is going to be, back towards the bedroom. Or back, this is like the bedroom area, but then it kind of splits off and we go into the electric mainframe for the RF systems, right? And of course there's the teleport. This room, this is an enhanced building guide. I've got it set to an octagon shape, and I just kind of dug it out through here, and actually ranked up my hammer while I was doing it, so we are now legendary hammer. So this, we're going to get into this later, this is going to be a fusion room, long term, like fusion reactor for Nuclearcraft. We are going to be getting into, here soon, we're going to be getting into fusion reactors as well as salt reactors as well. So that's why I need a lot of space, because we're going to have salt reactor, fusion reactor, turbines, big reactor, all that stuff in our power system area. So basically we're going with just primarily just big power systems. And then down through here, there's going to be stuff in this area, and then we step into this. I've been working in here. It's not done. I don't have ceiling up or nothing like that. This is all factory blocks. And then I did Architecture Craft. These are metopes from Architecture Craft. You can find these in the classical section, I believe it is. And so I've been working on that. And it's these right here, metopes. So it kind of adds a little bit of variation to this room with the beams and stuff that kind of run along here. I've set up some power cells here. We now have 400 million RF storage. When you get that many zeros, it like takes a second. You gotta look at it and be like, now wait a second, how much do I have? You can see it's actually capped out at the moment, and I'll show you why that is. But I did clean up this, and this is pretty much the exact same system that we had before. There's the smelter. It's actually a little bit bigger. It takes 3 uranium, but you can see it's not running at the moment. That's not due to a lack of uranium. We have tons of that stuff. I'll show you why that is, but anyways, it pumps into the smart output, and of course it makes the ingot. The ingot goes under the floor, and it comes up into the fluid infuser, which makes our uranium oxide ingots. And then there's of course an electrolyzer here. The water source block is right underneath it, and it's producing you know, the oxygen, deuterium, hydrogen. That stuff is getting pumped out. There's a filter here. There's a filter here that has oxygen blacklisted. Then over here, oxygen is whitelisted. So right now I'm just trashing the deuterium and the hydrogen. I've got full tanks of it. I don't really need any more right this second. Later on we can add more control here, you know, to maybe send that somewhere else or do something with it. But right now I'm just trashing it. And then I did use energy conduits here, the ones that we made earlier, because I needed to put an item conduit here. I need to work from the same block space. And I didn't want to set up an XNet system for basically 2 connections. So, and then the uranium oxide ingots get pumped over isotope separator right here. Of course, it separates these, sends them over to here. We are going to be setting up, probably next episode, we're going to set up a system that cleans a lot of this out. Like if there's so much, because you're going to get more uranium-238 than you're going to use. You don't have to worry about the 235. I know that's what's backed up over here, but you're going to get less uranium-235 than you're going to, you know, you're going to use all the uranium-235 that you're getting. You're not going to use all the 238 that you're getting. You're going to have like 1 left over per fuel cell. So, one small change I want to point out. I did set up, let's actually pull up, this. Let's get back here real quick. I'll just kind of open this up. I haven't cleaned up this wall because I was waiting to show you guys this. Basically what I've got here are the fluid infuser that makes the uranium oxide ingots. I've got an inventory checker that checks for 10 items in slot 0. Slot 0 is this slot right here. Okay, so whenever it gets 10 items in it, it sends out a redstone signal. It goes into a basic redstone interface. We covered those just a minute ago. And all it does is it sends a redstone signal right over to here. You'll notice this one isn't turned on. This is set to work on low signal. So if it gets a redstone signal, it shuts off. It stops sending uranium into the smeltery. Because I don't want the smeltery to get filled up on liquid and have the uranium there, because it does slowly eat your fuel source. So I added that, just simple, quick, easy redstone, just to kind of stop the system and not have things backed up. Because, of course, I don't want to waste UU matter if I don't have to. And then, in addition, it does cause extra lag when your smeltery's backed up. You know, because it's trying to pump things out, and it's trying to smelt things that can't be smelted, and it's a big nightmare as far as lag. So I did set up that. And then the only other major change here is I did bump up the RF monitor to 95%. So if it goes below 95%, it's going to kick on the reactor. And after the reactor runs for a bit, you are going to get these right here, these depleted LEU 235 oxide fuels. We're going to be dealing with those next episode. Next episode, we're going to be dealing with those. We're going to be setting up the system to move the oxide fuel into here. And we're also going to be setting up a system to kind of clean some of this uranium-238 out when it starts building up like this. So, but this depleted fuel, you can, and we are going to be reprocessing this, and that's how you get your Neptunium-237 oxides, your Plutonium-239 oxide, and 241 oxide. You also get some 238 oxide. I don't know, we might compact it and keep it, but we're going to have overflow from here as well. I don't know, I can make these like depleted uranium blocks. So I don't know. We'll find a use for it, okay? We'll do something with it, but anyways, one other thing, the reason the power is capped, even though the reactor's not running, is I did consolidate and go get all of our, by the way, there's circuit, factory block circuits under there, just to add like a little gold border when you look at it at a certain angle. I'm actually going to be making some fluid pipes for in here, for decorative purposes. These right here, from Immersive Engineering. I'm going to be making some of those for decoration, have them kind of running behind the walls. But right in here, I did consolidate our Californium RTGs. We're going to be making some more of these later on. And I've got these just kind of feeding out into a power cell. So that way it kind of upkeeps. It doesn't have to run the reactor, like, especially when I'm offline, I'm not doing anything. It doesn't have to run the reactor just to upkeep my AE system. And then this is just some more free power. But the reactor's there. When we start running things, I mean, this power right here isn't going to last very long across all of our system. But, you know, it's going to get to where basically the reactor's there as kind of a safeguard. You drop below this, you kick it on, it powers everything back up. Also, when I add power cells, it's nice because it kind of burst fires and fills up those power cells as I add additional power cells. So, but that's really the main things I've been working on. Of course, this is, once again, sneaky false blocks. I love these things for just hiding away redstone and stuff. That way I can still access it, but it's hidden. In this room back in here, this is going to be, it's a lot bigger than it needs to be. I know I'll probably get some comments on that. We're just going to have one fusion reactor setting in here, and that's all. It's mainly going to be a decorative room that's really big, so we're going to be setting that up in here. Just kind of a big octagon room with like a reactor sitting in the middle. One of the fusion reactors, which I love the way those look. Those are like my favorite because these are kind of like a big box with like colored squares in them. I mean, it and big reactors both, I don't think is the best looking reactors, but I do love the fusion reactors and the way they look. So we're going to be getting into those here soon. So probably after the server tour, we'll go ahead and maybe hit salt reactors, and we're going to be doing some big tech stuff right after the server tour, and then we're going to fall back on immersive engineering and forestry, kind of clean up some of that stuff, and then move probably into astral sorcery and back to Thaumcraft briefly, because there's some stuff I want to do with that. Some really, really useful stuff. So, okay, but anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode, so I am going to end this one out here. Next episode, when we come back, we're going to start playing with some of our RF that we've got. We're going to do some fine-tune to the reactor, get the stuff moving, automate some stuff with RF, and you know, some stuff like that. And then maybe we need to deal with that pink slime so we have it automatically coming in. So we will do something with that as well. And then later on, you know, we might stick it in a mob duplication. We're going to be working in the mob room before too long, hopefully. It's just a matter of finding the time, because currently we're going to be working with, you know, getting our RF system set up. I'd like to be focusing on RF up until the server tour. You know, automating some things, maybe do a little bit of forestry or immersive engineering, that kind of stuff. Because I don't want to start into more reactor stuff until after the server tour, so that, you know, I don't have to stop right in the middle of that stuff. But we are going to be doing a salt reactor and a fusion reactor, and then later on we'll do more fission reactors as well. I hope you guys join me for that, and I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out, and I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, I'll see you guys then.